First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsung Kong, His Eminence the Shung Rinpoche. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupten Dorji. And homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to main deity of the group practice today, the Jambala, the yellow Jambala or yellow wealth deity. Sumo, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Our participating VIPs today are the accountant to Buddha Foundation, Dhamma Sister Teresa, and from Taiwan, the National Tsung Kung University, from the WE Department, Professor Wang Li, and producers for the Geni Tiansang Xinten, from CTI-TV Taiwan, Dhamma Sister Rebecca Shiachi, Dr. Zhou Heng, and from Malaysia, Datuk Kenneth Loy, Datin, and also their daughter, Li Qian, and from California, my brother Gao and Mrs. Gao. Good evening, everybody. How do you do?
Thank you for coming.
Today we practice Jambala, the yellow wealth deity. We have talked about a yellow Jambala quite a lot, and it reminded me the other time we mentioned about the wealth heavenly king or Cai Bao, heavenly king. And X mentioned that the heavenly wealth deity loves to eat shark fin, the premium grade of shark fin. And in the transcription of her talk, it was mentioned, it was written that, and with the mouthful of shark fin, with the mouthful of wine, and he was chewing on the shark fin, and he kept saying, "Oh, it's very good, very delicious, very delicious." When reading it, I felt I was salivating. So I asked all the masters, did you check the materials if this Cai Bao Tian Wang or the heavenly wealth deity loves to eat shark fin? No, the masters replied, and the reference also replied no. So it was fabricated by X. So, as I said before, in Tibet there was no ocean. So the Cai Bao Tian Wang or Jambala, either one of them, or actually they were referring to the same one, in their spiritual cultivation had no shark fin to be offered into the Homa fire. It was impossible to have shark fin to be offered into the Homa fire because there was no ocean as far as you could see in Tibet. So Vaishravana or Champala, it's very rare to offer shark fin to the Vaishravana or Champala. Maybe this heavenly king got on the flat land and tasted shark fin. That wasn't right. Because Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, in accepting the offerings, just observe whether the offerings meet with your heart. Even when the ghost is eating, there's no kach sound, not mouthful by mouthful, because taking it mouthful by mouthful is only for human being, not for ghosts, because the ghost is only absorb the qi, the vital energy, because ghost has no physical body, just a glob of qi, energy. As I have written in the book long ago, is that ghost is just the remaining qi of a human being. So when ghosts eat, all they eat is just the qi of the food. So when you make offering to the ghost, the most they take is just absorbing the qi. There is no such thing with taking a mouthful of food and a mouthful of wine, as if by the chopsticks. Drinking wine.
No, never, 没有这样子，就是食气。
Never.
就算是鬼，也不过是食气而已。
So even for the ghosts, they just take the energy, the qi.
太过分。
So the description was too much, or you just fabricate it.
它上面也写到供养鱼翅。也就是说，以后遇到财宝天王。
And she also mentioned about the offering of shark fin, that when you encounter Vaishravana, Jambala, you have to make an offering of the highest grade of shark fin. Actually, shark fin has no taste whatsoever. It's just in the process of cooking, you add a few things. You add some condiments or flavorings to make it taste that way. In Taichung, there was a place called
吃过了没有？这莲芽去过。
Lian has been there.
哦，想海鲜，应该是顶旗一次吧？专门一次，因为顶旗一次里面有一个小姐。
topmost
小姐
topmost shark fin restaurant in Taichung. And there were a few young ladies at that restaurant.
廉政
Upon seeing Lian Ya and Lian Zhen,
讲了几句话被我们听到，
said
那几个
This
那个
few
waitress，
words that we
就
heard.
是讲了几句话，他说
The waitresses said,
看到连雅跟连正说奇怪，
and they said,
这两个高高大
This
大的，长得很
tall,
像
handsome
当和尚，
guys, how could they become monks
还俗啊。
when they will return to lay life?
我是记得那几个小姐对他们两个，她说：“哎呀，
So those
和尚太可惜。”
ladies, they said, oh, it's such
哦，连雅有没有？
a pity or a waste to become monks, right? Yeah.
长得那么高，那么帅，
They're so tall and handsome.
连雅这两个高高的，这个高高帅帅的，怎么会去当和尚？可惜呀、
You know, Lian Ya and Lian Zhen, they're tall and handsome. How could they become monks? So they felt,
是好吃还是人好吃，我是搞不清楚。
was the shark fin delicious or the person, the people
这个我
delicious?
真的也不知道说哦，供养这个，你们如果看过那一本书啊，
So if you have
就是
read
那
that
个
book
开示录的那一本书，
on the
那一本书我最
transcription of
三
Dharma talk,
世因果
and recently
开示
I read
把它
one of her
很
talk
小的一本册子，
that it was compiled into a small booklet called The Karma of the
佛音
Past, Present, and Future.
的佛音，
And the big one was
说
that
他做什么
the
父母
Buddha sound
就是
from the
大
sky,
下降。
and that talk
做
about
释迦牟尼佛
whatever homa that she
做
did,
阿弥陀佛
the deity would descend. Like if she performed a Sakyamuni Buddha homa, Sakyamuni Buddha descended, Amitabha Buddha homa, Amitabha descended,
财宝
and Medicine Buddha homa, Medicine Buddha descended,
下降，都跟
or
他
performed the
讲话。
heavenly wealth deity, then the deity descended, and also all the yellow Jambala homa and the yellow Jambala descended.
这个红财神，
And
他在书里面
toward
对
the red
红财神
Jambala,
非常的
in the
被
book she said,
恭敬，
she was extremely
而且红财神
respectful toward
誓愿
red Jambala,
为他的这个
and they formed alliances.
做护法，
And the red Jambala
而且红财神
promised to become the protector of that chapter.
他每天
And red Jambala sang for her, danced for her, and offered milk to X.
拿那个牛奶的杯子供养叉叉这样，
So he took a glass of milk and offered it to X, and also offered to all the disciples.
所以这个真
So I am lactose intolerant, so I cannot drink milk.
红财神，红财神
But the red
他没有
Jambala,
因为我乳
the
糖
elephant head Jambala,
乳糖不耐症，所以没办法喝牛奶。
did not offer milk to me because I have lactose intolerant.
他写的非
intolerance
常的神奇，
So she wrote it very magically. It's like
哇，非常感动。认为一个人可以跟
upon reading it, I was very moved
更稀奇的，我看了三世因果，
that someone can talk to all
翻
the
开来看，
Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And in the books of the
可以跟
karma of past, present, and future lives,
空中飞的鸟，跟地
she
上
said
爬的
that
野兽
she could talk to all the
讲话，
the birds and all the animals. That was also very enticing. That someone so great inside True Buddha school, someone that could that can talk to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As how do I talk or communicate to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas? I use my own way to talk to them. When they descend, they would let me know with their retinue. Like today, in our practice Jambala, when he descended, I would know, because he would go through my central channel and the top of my crown, because the skull has been opened there. There's a small hole right here. Perhaps you can't see it from a distance. Can you see it? So you can zoom it to see the hole there. Is it there? Yes. Can you see it? Yes. So the deity would enter through the hole, then I would feel it in my body, that Jambala has entered into my body. And then his retinue that are coming together, including the heavenly wealth deities, Cai Bao Tian Wang, or the four great wealth deities, the red, black, green, and white wealth deities, and yellow, white. They all came together and entered into your body, that on all different parts of your body. And when they come, I would be like this. That means there are 5 deities inside, because it flashed 5 times. That meant there were 5 of them. And now it flashed 10 times. So there were 10 of them. So that's called the experience or the sensation of the body. And you need to understand it. You can feel it. And this kind of feeling or sensation or spiritual experience is by the mind or by the heart. And are they unhappy? Or in good mood or bad mood? Good mood, it's very good. Kimochi-i. Kimochi-warui is really bad mood, and you would feel it in your heart. So whether your spiritual cultivation is good or bad, they would let you know. Or if you make any transgression in your mind, and you would have this kind of communication, mind by mind or heart to heart. So this is called the sensation or spiritual experiences of the mind and body. Like Sakyamuni Buddha, in the book that's called like the Buddha sound from the sky. That was the medicine Buddha who talked to her and asked her, what is the background of success? I don't hear such things. And in the book, she wrote quite a bit, a lot. I don't know. But like brief language, sometimes they would say it in my ears, then I would know. During daytime, with eyes open, you see them, or in your meditation, you see them, or in your dreams, you see them. There were several different kinds of visions. One is seeing in the dream, seeing in meditation, and seeing in daytime, as I had explained before. Like in broad daylight, as you close your eyes, there are a bright rays of light. Then I would know that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas would appear. Like in the development stages of Tantrayana, I also had the vision. Like at the beginning of my exposition of the development stages of Tantrayana, for about 10 minutes or half an hour, I was looking into the camera, and then all of a sudden, in my eyes, there were lights, and the lights were like cotton threads, and they were tremblings, like rays of light, and circle of light that's getting bigger and bigger, and then with the bright rays of light. And I knew that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas would appear. And then Guru Tsongkhapa appeared. And Guru Tsongkhapa was an emanation of Manjushri Bodhisattva. Guru Tsongkhapa was the one who expounded on the development stages of Tantrayana before. So I knew that Guru Tsongkhapa appeared and blessed me so that I could expound on the development stages of Tantrayana very smoothly. So this kind of things do happen. But the rest, like if I say, oh, hi Guru Tsongkhapa, where are you these days? Why don't you come over here and have some dine with me and have some drinks? No, I don't do that. He didn't say anything. He just emitted light, with bright light, and blessed me. And I knew that he blessed me. And Guru Padmasambhava, my soul left my body and went to Nepal, to his cave, his cultivation cave. And he changed me into a drop of light and took me from his mouth, and I was excreted from his secret chakra, and that did happen. And then he emitted bright light and shone upon my skin pores and into my body, and I received such empowerment. And then X said something that Kala Chakra caught her and ate her through his mouth, and also excreted her through his secret chakra too. I thought, wow, she's so remarkable, because I was just by Padmasambhava and she was by Kala Chakra. And Kala Chakra was an emanation of Sakyamuni Buddha. at the Sri Kanaka at the South India and expounded Kalachakra Dharma to the king Lu-Ling and Suddhodana. But X claimed that X was eaten up by Kalachakra and excreted like pee. So what's going on here? I don't know. Okay, let me consult it. Let me ask Kalachakra whether you really ate Kalachakra and if Kalachakra ate X.
Never.
The answer was never. King Suchandra. So she was just boasting. She could talk to the birds. She talked to the animals on the ground, in the sky. I would like to ask the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Hedukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and all divinities, is that true or not? Please let me know which deity is answering me now. Golden Mother is replying. I would like to ask, is this true or false? Is it true or fake? It's fake. They were all fake. On the altar, there are only true words. So in the future, if someone finds her talking to an animal, like talking to the cat, before talking, ask the cat to meow 3 times. Before talking to the cat, let the cat meow 3 times first. And if you talk to the dog, ask the dog to extend his tongue 3 times before you talk to the dog. Then that would be accurate. And she also claimed that she talked to the elephant. Then, if the elephant with his ears 3 times, then that would be right. That would be true. If you talk to the spider, and you can check all this. If the spider is on the thread, you ask the spider to go down 10 centimeters, and then that would be accurate. And when you talk to the fish, you ask the fish to swim in circles 3 times. She also talked to the turtle. You ask the turtle to retract his head and all the 4 limbs and then extend them back. If you could make them do that, then I would believe you. Then I will take refuge in you. If you can't make them do those, and you just say, then that cannot be believed. Cannot be believed. There is not a single person that can talk to the animals, just you. And in that book, the Buddha sound from the sky, she talked to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And she talked to all the animals. And you said then that you talked to the chameleon. And then before you have the dialogue, let the chameleon wave his tail 3 times so that we could see for confirmation. She went to Changhong Lizang Temple when she was giving the Dharma talk. The floor was cracking 3 times. It's not during the ceremony. So the floor cracked open, and then she gave the talk that the earth god came. Because the earth god came, that's why the floor cracked open. Very simple. So we can ask X to invite another earth god and to show us if the floor or the ground would crack open. Then we would completely believe her. So you could show us that you invite an earth god and let the ground crack open. And she also claimed that the bigger the crack, the richer you get. It's like the song that they sang. Actually, that was because of the temperature difference that it just kind of, there was no space to expand, so they kind of crack open. That's from the physics explanation. So, but you said that because the earth god came. So, what if the earth god comes and the ground didn't crack open? So, like one time from the dining room, I saw like a dark clouds in the sky, and I said, "Boy, it's such a dark sky." So I was as if holding a brush and waving the brush, and then all of a sudden in the sky, there were like a red light streaking on the sky. And I was surprised. How come? By waving the imaginable brush, there were colors in the sky. And afterwards, I don't dare to wave again. Because what if there were no more colors? It was recorded. So I was as if painting in the sky, and sure enough, there were red colors in the sky. But I didn't even dare to say that that's because of the tremendous Dharma power. I mean, look at the dark sky now. I'll go out and give you a performance. And I said, okay, let me give you some colors. And all of a sudden, there's a lightning. So you can check. So for Sijun, Grandmaster, cultivating up till now, as I close my eyes and I pray, and on the side I would see two circles of light, and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas would appear for me to see. But I cannot talk to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I just have like the sense in my heart to have that heart-to-heart communication. So this is truth. This is the truth. I'm not making it up. But in the dream, yes, that would happen. Like sometimes Buddhas and Bodhisattvas would talk to me, like the Venerable Elder Xi Yun from the Qing Dynasty. And he gave me blessings. His hand extended from the sky to my forehead and blessed me. It left a vivid impression. And by receiving the blessings, I definitely feel the bliss, like the qi moving in the central channel, the ascent of the inner fire, the descent of the light drops, and the complete, the great bliss, and the bliss all over the body, all over the cells in the body. It's undescribable. It's beyond words. So I often said that great bliss truly exists. Like when I expounded the Hevajra is the great bliss within the emptiness within great bliss. Like for Dharma brother Gao Minglu, the great bliss that you experience, how long did it last? For over 20 hours. So that's the whole day, day and night. That's the bliss experience or the bliss sensation that Gao experienced for about 24 hours. And comparing to the bliss of man or woman, like for man it would be just splits of a second. But the bliss of a practitioner can last 24 hours, and that would be called the great bliss. And all the cells in the body would be dancing. That's called the great all over bliss. So the bliss of a practitioner is different. Inside the central channel, the descent and ascent of the inner fire, the ascent of descent of the light drops, and of the qi. So the bliss of the central channel is very long, but the ordinary bliss is very short. So the biggest bliss in the human world is very short. And this is something that you can truly experience. Once you have attainments, you can lift the light drops, descend the light drops, and then disperse it, and then maintain it, and then disperse it. So descend, ascend, maintain, and disperse. 4 kinds. In tantric practices, So you lift up your light drops, you drip the light drops, and then you maintain it there, and then you disperse it all over the body. And this is the same for inner fire. So descend, ascend, maintain, and disperse. And it's the same for the qi. Descend, ascend, maintain, and disperse. So that's the tantric dharma practice of Tantrayana. And these are all real. And Gao Minglu could also see Grandmaster in the daytime, right? So with my eyes open, I could see and could even see the back. That was in your home, yes. So he could also had the real vision. Was there talks? Yes. Because my neck was swollen, I recited Tribhuta Sutra 7 times. On the 7th time, Grandmaster appeared in front of me. And I said, my neck is swollen, and Grandmaster replied, go see the doctor. So there was a talk. But typically speaking, they will not talk very long, not very much, like explaining the Buddha Dharma, etc. Because in her book, The Buddha Son from the Sky, that when the Buddhas appeared, they spoke verses, and that's all very profound and had to be explained extensively. There are few people who could reach such a level, but not very many. But for her, every time the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas would talk, so it's like interlace teaching. It's like the Buddha would say a statement, and then she gave a talk, and then the Buddha talked again, and she talked again. It didn't even happen to the patriarchs, not even Tsongkhapa. When Manjushri had the dialogue with the Buddhas, so there was a Lama that Manjushri Bodhisattva attached to a Lama, like to become a medium, and had dialogue with Guru Tsongkhapa. And when the Lama left, Tsongkhapa and Tsongkhapa prayed for the appearance of Manjushri Bodhisattva using all different kinds of methods. And eventually, Manjushri Bodhisattva did appear. But the talks are usually very short. In my dreams, my dialogues with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are many, but in daytime, it's very rare. That's my own experience. Today, talking about Lamdre, the continuum of the causal potential. So, prior power of the causal ground upon maturity is the continuum of the resultant Mahamudra. It is also referred as the causal ground, and our body is mature, and because you have the right causes and conditions, and the causal ground is the ability, then you would be able to reach the fruition of the Mahamudra. Our body is the basis or the foundation of all rebirth and nirvana. So if your body is complete, no missing limbs, not handicapped, and your brain is normal, then the hidden seed can grow and sprout and grow to become a tree with branches, leaves, a root, a trunk, branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. All can grow. That's a kind of continuum. So the potential is the foundation of rebirth and nirvana. So for a normal person, you have such a potential. It's the basis for rebirth and nirvana and to learn all kinds of dharma. The potential of the Buddha nature, because of the function of the body, you can use the qi to circulate all over the body, or the rise of the inner fire, the descent of the light drops. Then you can use your body to experience this kind of spiritual cultivation. Third point, developing the power that was embedded in the causal ground is referred as the continuum of the Vajra fruit of the body, speech, and mind. And because there's this cause, because of this body, like the womb mandala is the cause, and the Vajra mandala is the fruit. So through the cause and through the spiritual cultivation, then it would becomes the fruit. So the Vajra fruit of the body, speech, and mind. That's the meaning of this part. So, so in the verse, the Vajra verse, the continuum of the causal potential is endowed with nirvana and rebirth as the basic continuum. So in the future, if you have attainment, it's because of this cause. So whether it's rebirth or nirvana, this is the basic, the cause. So that's why I have said that our body is very important. And our ears, our eyes, and our breathing, our mouth is also extremely important. And the opening of the tip of the crown is very important. So the tip of this poa, the opening is because you let the qi to strike the tip until eventually this hole can connect to the sky, and from this tip of the crown through the central channel to the base chakra. That's the central channel. And by relying on the breathing, on the two sides are the two channels. And how the qi enters into the central channel, you rely on your breathing. And you keep it at the place at 4 finger width below navel. And the longer you keep it there, then it would enter into central channel. So the outside qi, once it enters into the central channel, then it becomes the wisdom qi. So the outside qi is called the convenient qi. And inside the central channel becomes the wisdom qi. And in Tantrayana, there's the consort practice, and in Mahamudra, there's the karma mudra. And you rely on the central channel. So the central channel is connected to the other central channel. The one with power, you use the qi to enter into the central channel of the other person. So it's very easy to open the central channel. But if you have no such power, and you yourself doesn't have your central channel open, then how can you open other people's central channels? So they are the real practitioners, and they are also the fake ones. As the guru, he has to explain it clearly, how to visualize, how the qi moves inside your body, and you have to have a certain sensation of feeling, how to move the qi to reach the tip of your crown. And not necessarily every time that you let the qi out from the tip of the crown. Maybe once a month. Because once you open the tip of the crown and you let the qi leave your body every time, then your life would be shortened. Your life would become short. So you need to visualize your yidam's feet is stepping on the hole, so that when the qi reaches the tip of the crown, the qi would just come back inside. So there's a method. So by true mastery of your life and death is you can say that you can live on your own, and then you transport your qi to leave your body from the tip of the crown. And very easily you can die. Say if you don't want to live in the human world anymore, you can gather all the qi. There are several qi inside our body, the upper qi, the lower qi, the peripheral qi, and the life or the mind qi, or the fire accompanying qi, which is the qi around the central channel. The upper qi controls upper body, lower qi controls lower body, and the peripheral qi controls the arms and the legs. And the fire accompanying qi is around the central channels. And then the mind or the heart qi cannot move, is unmoved. If the heart qi moves, that's about death. That's the sign of death. And then you gather all the qi, and then you transfer the qi to leave your body through the tip of the head. Then that's your self-mastery of life and death, and you can die whenever you want. So now you understand. So for the test today, Xiaoming's grade was really bad, and he was severely reprimanded by the teacher and had his parents come to the school. And Xiaoming felt really upset that in my test I wasn't able to do my test, so the teacher asked you to go to school, and Dad was very scared and said, I don't know either, so that was just a joke. So let me tell you, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you're able, then you can talk about it. If you are not able, then you can't. But this kind of things, if you're told, then you can talk about it. But the question is, do you really have the ability based on your own practice? So you have to show that. Then I can accept you. But if you don't have the real power, the real thing that showed, then it doesn't matter how you talk about it. I will not believe you. Where would it come from if you never practice? So Xiaoming asked Xiaohua, what day is September 28th? And Xiaohua replied, it's the birthday of Confucius. And how about October 28th? And Xiaohua said, I don't know. And Xiaoming said, you're so stupid. Then, of course, the 1 month kind of celebration of Confucius. So that's logic by comparison. So September 28th is the birth date of Confucius. Then October 28th would be the 30-day birth month. So that's kind of induction by deduction. But if it doesn't comply to the logic, then of course it's just all made up. No more to say. If you don't meditate, you don't practice meditation, how? I would not believe that you have such a power, because you need to meditate in order to gain this kind of power. You have to practice the treasure vase yoga. All of these are necessary in order for the qi to enter into the central channel. And in your practice, you need to, you have to swallow the saliva, and you have to retract the cement. It's the same, whether in Taoism or Tantrayana. The wife said to the husband, hubby, you're the man, so whatever you say counts. That's not so good, right? Typically, the man takes care of the outside the home, and inside the home, it's I'm in charge, and you're in charge of the outside world. And the husband says, okay, good. So in the future, for whatever issues, the wife would always say, okay, let's talk about it at home, because at home I'm in charge. So in our Buddhist studies, it's not you that's in charge, or it's not your words that count, but once you have attainments in your spiritual cultivation, then you can talk. But if you have no fruition in your spiritual cultivation, is you say, you fake that you have it. So it's like before you have realization and you said that you do, then that's also fake. So everything can be tested. Whatever you attain can be tested.
这个阿川啊，常常被老婆罚跪。
was often punished by the wife to kneel, and he was complaining to his father-in-law, "My knees been kneeling on the ground that I almost have arthritis." And the father-in-law replied, "My knees have got better after we placed carpet in my home, because they have the same issues." Today, Simu is not here. So whatever Grandmaster says count. So that's all for today. Om Mani Padme.